Welcome to your Shadow channel. Now we will tell another chilling horror story. Tonight, we delve into the 3 horror stories about true creepy graveyard horror stories. Are you ready to get scared? Let's begin. The first story is about the Whispering Tombstone. In the heart of the ancient cemetery, where the moonlight barely penetrated the thick canopy of gnarled trees, stood the Whispering Tombstone. Its presence was an enigma, a relic from a forgotten era. The locals spoke of it in hushed tones, their eyes wide with fear. They warned travelers to steer clear of the crumbling monument, for it held secrets darker than the night itself. The tombstone was unlike any other. Its surface was etched with cryptic symbols, worn away by centuries of wind and rain. The stone felt cold to the touch, as if it absorbed the very essence of life. But what truly set it apart was the eerie whisper that emanated from its depths, a sound that chilled the bones and stirred ancient memories. Legend had it that the tombstone was cursed. Those who dared to approach it vanished without a trace. Their screams echoed through the graveyard, carried away by the wind. Some said they glimpsed shadowy figures lurking behind the tombstone, their eyes glowing like dying embers. Others claimed to have heard the agonized cries of lost souls, trapped between worlds. One moonless night, a curious traveler named Evelyn arrived in the village. She was a scholar, seeking forgotten lore and hidden truths. The villagers warned her about the tombstone, but curiosity burned brighter than fear. Armed with a lantern and a notebook, she ventured into the cemetery. The air grew colder as Evelyn neared the tombstone. The whisper intensified, a cacophony of voices overlapping, a chorus of sorrow, regret, and longing. She traced her fingers over the symbols, feeling their energy pulse beneath her skin. The tombstone seemed to come alive, vibrating with a malevolent force. "Who are you?" Evelyn whispered, her breath visible in the frigid air. The tombstone answered, a voice that echoed from the abyss. "I am Darius Blackwood, condemned to this eternal silence. My sins weigh heavy upon me." Evelyn's heart raced. She had stumbled upon a restless spirit, bound to the tombstone by some ancient curse. She opened her notebook, eager to record the tale. Darius recounted his tragic past, a tale of forbidden love, betrayal, and murder. He had been a sorcerer, dabbling in dark magic to win the heart of the village beauty, Isabella. But his jealousy consumed him, and he killed her lover in a fit of rage. Isabella, grief-stricken, cursed Darius to remain by her side forever, a silent witness to her pain. As Evelyn listened, she felt the weight of centuries pressing down upon her. Darius begged for release, his voice growing desperate. "Find Isabella's grave," he implored. "Break the curse. Set me free." Guided by the whisper, Evelyn followed a winding path deeper into the cemetery. There, beneath a weeping willow, she found Isabella's tombstone, a faded inscription barely visible. She traced the letters, her fingers trembling. "Forgive me," Evelyn whispered. "May your love find peace." The ground trembled, and the tombstone cracked. Darius materialized, his form translucent. Tears streamed down his face as he faded into the night, his whisper growing fainter. "Thank you," he murmured. "I am free." Evelyn returned to the village, her notebook filled with the tale of the Whispering Tombstone. The villagers listened in awe, their fear replaced by reverence. And as the moon rose, they gathered at the cemetery, laying flowers on Isabella's grave. But Evelyn knew the truth, the curse was broken, but the tombstone still whispered. It spoke of forgotten souls, lost loves, and the price of forbidden magic. And so, she vowed to keep the story alive, lest the darkness consume it once more. And to this day, if you visit the ancient cemetery, you might hear the faintest whisper, a plea for redemption, a warning to those who seek forbidden knowledge. The whispering tombstone guards its secrets, waiting for a curious soul to unravel its mysteries. The second story is about the phantom gravedigger. In the moonless hours of midnight, when the wind whispered secrets through the twisted branches of the ancient cemetery, the villagers spoke of a phantom gravedigger. His existence was a macabre legend, a tale passed down from generation to generation, a warning to those who dared tread upon consecrated ground after dark. The cemetery lay on the outskirts of the village, its tombstones weathered and leaning like forgotten memories. The villagers avoided it during daylight, but at night, they shuddered at the mere mention of the phantom. They said he was a soul cursed to eternally dig graves, his bony fingers clawing at the earth, seeking solace or redemption. Elijah, a curious young man with a penchant for unraveling mysteries, scoffed at the superstitions. He believed in science, not specters. Armed with a lantern and a notebook, he ventured into the cemetery one moonless night. The air smelled of damp soil and decay, and the tombstones loomed like silent sentinels. As Elijah wandered deeper, he noticed a freshly dug grave, a mound of earth still raw and moist. The tombstone bore no name, only the chilling inscription, "Here lies the unnamed." The hairs on Elijah's neck prickled. He had heard tales of the phantom gravedigger, but he dismissed them as folklore. Now, standing before the freshly turned soil, he wondered if there was truth to the legend. The whisper came, a spectral voice that seemed to rise from the very ground. "Why do you disturb my work, mortal?" Elijah's lantern flickered. "Who are you?" "I am Silas," the voice replied. "Once a gravedigger like you, now bound to this forsaken plot. My sins weigh heavy upon me." Elijah's skepticism wavered. "What sins?" Silas recounted his tragic tale, a life of greed and betrayal. He had stolen from the dead, pilfering jewelry and coins to feed his vices. But one moonless night, he dug too deep, a grave that held more than bones. The corpse rose, its eyes hollow, and cursed Silas to an eternity of digging. "Find the stolen locket," Silas pleaded. "Break the curse." Elijah's curiosity flared. He vowed to uncover the truth. Guided by the phantom's whispers, he followed a trail of wilted flowers to an unmarked grave. There, beneath a gnarled oak, lay a rusted locket, the very one Silas had stolen. As Elijah touched the locket, the ground trembled. Silas materialized, a gaunt figure with sunken eyes. "Release me," he implored. "Bury the locket with its rightful owner." Elijah dug, sweat mingling with tears. He placed the locket on the corpse's chest, whispering a prayer. The earth swallowed Silas, and the whisper faded, a sigh of release. The villagers found Elijah at dawn, his clothes caked with mud. He told them of the phantom gravedigger, the stolen locket, and the curse broken. They listened, their eyes wide with awe. From then on, the villagers tended the cemetery with reverence. They left offerings, coins, flowers, and candles, for Silas's restless soul. And Elijah? He became the keeper of the legend, chronicling it in his notebook. But late at night, when the wind howled through the tombstones, Elijah swore he heard a faint whisper, "Thank you." And he wondered if the phantom gravedigger had truly found peace or if another soul now labored in his stead. The third story is about the haunting melody. In the heart of the old town, where the cobblestone streets whispered forgotten secrets, there stood an abandoned music shop. Its windows were cracked, the sign faded to a ghostly gray, harmonious melodies. Evelyn, a pianist haunted by loss, stumbled upon the shop one moonless night. The air smelled of aged wood and memories. She pushed open the creaking door, her lantern casting flickering shadows on the walls. Inside, the shelves sagged under the weight of dusty sheet music. Pianos stood like silent sentinels, their keys yellowed with age. But what drew Evelyn's gaze was the grand piano in the corner, a relic from another era. Its mahogany wood gleamed, untouched by decay. Evelyn ran her fingers over the keys, and the piano sighed, a sound that echoed through the empty shop. She sat down, her heart racing. The moon peeked through the broken window, illuminating the sheet music on the stand. The title read, "The Haunting Melody." She hesitated, then began to play, a mournful tune that seemed to rise from the very floorboards. The notes flowed like tears, each one a memory. Evelyn's fingers moved of their own accord, as if guided by unseen hands. And then she heard it, the whisper. A voice that seemed to come from the piano itself. "Why have you come, child?" Evelyn faltered. "Who are you?" "I am Harmonia," the voice replied. "Once a composer, now bound to this piano. My sins weigh heavy upon me." Harmonia's tale spilled forth, a life of ambition and betrayal. She had composed the melody for her lover, Victor, a brilliant violinist. But jealousy consumed her when Victor's talent surpassed her own. One moonless night, she poisoned him, stealing his music for herself. The haunting melody was born, a requiem for lost love. "Break the curse," Harmonia pleaded. "Find Victor's violin. Play the melody together." Evelyn vowed to unravel the mystery. Guided by Harmonia's whispers, she followed a trail of faded notes to an attic across town. There, beneath a layer of dust, lay Victor's violin, a masterpiece untouched for centuries. As Evelyn played, the violin sang, a harmonious duet with the piano. The room trembled, and Harmonia materialized, a spectral figure with tear-streaked cheeks. "Forgive me," she wept. "May our music find peace." The moonlight bathed them, and Evelyn and Harmonia played, the haunting melody rising, filling the room. The walls seemed to weep, and the curse shattered. Victor's spirit appeared, his violin joining the symphony. And then, silence. Harmonia smiled, her form fading. "Thank you." Evelyn returned to the music shop, her notebook filled with the tale. The villagers listened, their eyes wide with wonder. They repaired the shop, turning it into a concert hall, a place where lost melodies found their voice. But late at night, when the wind carried echoes of forgotten tunes, Evelyn wondered if Harmonia's soul truly rested. Or if, somewhere in the shadows, another haunting melody waited to be played. These are just one of the many horror stories. There are many more out there, waiting to be discovered and told. Do you have any horror stories of your own? Share them in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more spooky content. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious. Bye.